Hello friends, this is Music Man from his man cave, and now Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Han Solo have to flee for their lives. They've ticked off Darth Vader and he's after them big time. How are they going to do? Are they going to be able to escape? Be back in a moment. Hello friends, The Empire Strikes Back. And this is my third time trying to do this because I can't talk today. But this is one of my favorite movies. It is absolutely fun to watch. You can watch it over and over and you will just enjoy it. It is the second in the saga, and it's the fifth chapter in the Star Wars saga. And yeah, it's pretty intense. Darth Vader is obsessed. He wants Luke and he wants him bad. He blew up his Death Star, and there's going to be some repercussions for that. Remember in the last movie, George Lucas didn't know if he was going to make another movie, so you had Darth Vader, flying crooked away from the Death Star before it exploded. That is a spoiler. And so now here we go. They find him on this ice planet, and we have one of the coolest moments in space opera, this kind of sci-fi movie history. Luke has felt the Force, but he's never really used the Force. So he's hanging upside down in this cave because he got knocked off his tauntaun by this big hairy Bigfoot, or the Abominable Snowman. I know that George Lucas got this right from the Abominable Snowman. In Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This thing is terrifying, so Luke has to focus and he has to concentrate, and he reaches out, and he gets his lightsaber and he knocks his foot free, and the thing's and I like this version because it actually shows the creature. Before, you never got to see the creature, just knew something that was big and dangerous was in the cave, and that he had to save himself. So in the meantime, they have to get off the planet. And Darth Vader is just mean in this one. He's choking everybody. You failed me. You failed me. You failed. It's like, I wouldn't want to work for a boss like that. I'll apologize. Apology accepted, Captain Nita. So, Darth Vader is at his most evil. He wants Luke Skywalker no matter what. Han Solo is at his most reckless. He decides to fly them right through an asteroid field, and Princess Leia's like, you don't have to impress me. I get it. Don't impress me, please. Get us out of this asteroid field. And then there's very annoying C-3PO. Sure, go away. Sure, go. Shut him up or shut him down. I like that line. It's kind of a funny line. Anyway, so this movie, I actually had to work to see it. I had to go out and work in a bait bed and dig night crawlers to go see it. That's some dirty work, folks. And I did it, and that way I could go to the movie, and I enjoyed it because I had to work for it. There's a note for you parents. If your kids want to go to a movie, make them work and pay for it. There's my little 2 cents right there. And they'll appreciate the movie. Look how much I appreciate Empire Strikes Back to this day. Well, I can tell you when I know a movie is really, really good. It's when literally 2 hours pass and it feels like 15 minutes have passed. And that's how I felt with Empire Strikes Back. And Yoda. They introduced Yoda, and it was obviously Miss Piggy. I could tell it was Miss Piggy's voice. I just knew it. But I didn't care because he was funny. And I didn't think that he could possibly be a Jedi Master. Once again, good. You threw us for a loop there, George Lucas. I imagined he was going to go and there was going to be some big guy, that looks domineering, and he looked like Darth Vader, but he was good, and he had long white hair, and he could, do crazy things with lightsabers. But no, we get this little 8-inch green monster in a slime pit. Slimy, you say? My home it is. Anyway, so you enjoy Yoda, and he's kind of funny, and he's tearing Luke's stuff up, and he's testing Luke's patience, and Luke is like, oh, get out of there, you little shrimp. Get out of here. I'm looking for a great warrior. Oh, great warrior, you say? Wars make not one great. And so you're starting to like, you're starting to kind of get attached to this little guy. And then you pick up that he's finally the Jedi Master when I am not kidding. Obi-Wan's spirit haunts Dagobah, and he speaks to Yoda. He goes, "Wasn't I like that once? This boy has no patience." And at that moment, Luke can hear Obi-Wan Kenobi too, and he goes, I have patience. I can do this. I can do this. And then he says to Yoda, "I'm not afraid." And Yoda looks like he's like, I don't know, it's a creepy moment, and I still don't really understand it. He looks like he's like taking a bunch of different drugs, and he's like, "You will be." Just like, ah! It was kind of scary. It was like, whoa, he looks creepy there. What's going on? So Luke fails every test that Yoda gives him. He just blows it. He's not doing well. Control. You must learn control. He doesn't have any control. He can feel the Force. But Darth Vader, that smart guy, before we even knew it, he knew that future is emotion, and it's difficult to see. So he captures Han Solo and Princess Leia through Lando Calrissian on this cloud planet. And Lando, we don't know what he was threatened with, and so everybody was always, "That Lando, what a creep! What a scum! Oh, he's terrible! I hate him! He gave him money!" And guess what? Just for your information, Darth Vader was there in the room, and Han Solo shot first. He shot at Darth Vader first. Just for you guys that are always complaining about, you hear me, George Lucas, that Han Solo did not shoot first. He shot first that time. And I didn't realize a lot of the Force powers that they had, and so I didn't understand how Darth Vader just went like this, and he took Han Solo's gun from him and catches it. I was like, how did he do that? And so you're thinking, this guy has got powers beyond belief. And so anyway, Luke sees the future. He sees Han's pain. "I feel your pain. I feel your pain, Han Solo." And he just can't get the vision out of his head. So he's got to go, and Yoda's like, "Don't go. You must finish your training. You must finish your training." In fact, Obi-Wan's spirit comes again, and he's there floating in the mist. "No, Luke, listen to Yoda. Don't go." And then he's finally, "Okay, you're going to go. Don't give in to hate. That leads to the dark side." And so anyway, Luke goes there, and Darth Vader's cool here. I mean, he's like one-handed fighting Luke like, "Oh, you're such a challenge to me." Not. And he does one of the coolest things. He makes Luke fall into the place where he's going to freeze, He's going to freeze him in carbonite, and he's like, "Too easy." But Luke jumps like at the speed of light out of there, and he's like, "Be impressive. Obi-Wan has taught you well." Okay, so that's pretty cool. And just backtracking a little bit, one of the coolest lines to me in the entire movie was when Princess Leia and Han Solo, the whole time they're in love, but Han Solo has the best line in the entire movie when he's being frozen in carbonite. He's about to be let down into the chamber, and he says to Leia, "I love you," and he goes, "I know." George Lucas actually wrote into the script, "I love you too," but Harrison Ford and his genius said, Han Solo wouldn't say that. That's not something Han Solo would say. So he said, "I know." And the whole theater, when I watched it, the first weekend it came out, burst into laughter. And it was really funny. Then the most frustrating part comes. Han's in carbonite. Darth Vader finally gets tired of Luke, playing around with Luke, and he starts really coming after him, and he chops off his arm, and then he says the most controversial thing in movie history, "I am your father. Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son." And Luke's like, "No, I'll never join you." Ah! And it's really kind of creepy the way he's acting. Anyway, he does one of the most incredible things. You thought he was going to die. He probably did one of the best things he did in the entire movie. He just lets go and falls. And he's like falling, and you think, well, Luke died. Great. That's a great ending of the movie. Luke just fell to his death. But no, he falls into this like garbage chute, and then he gives away something else. He's like, "Leia, hear me, Leia," as he's hanging on this antenna underneath the Cloud City. And Leia hears him and comes back, and they get him, and And so this is the most frustrating ending of any movie. It's like stopping in the middle of a chapter of a book. Basically, you have Luke standing there with Princess Leia, looking at a galaxy, and the words come up. And it's like, great. Now we have to wait 3 more years to see how the book continues? Yeah, George Lucas, you jerk. So basically that's how the movie ends. And what did I think of the movie? Well, this is another movie that I don't remember I went to it twice, but I sure wanted to. It was fantastic. It was enjoyable. It was fun. It makes kids think about spiritual things. It makes kids think about what would you do? Would you be able to go against your family or your father if they were evil and you were trying to be good and do good? Maybe you're a Christian and somebody in your family does not believe in following Christ. How do you deal with that conflict? A lot of good questions that you can talk with your family and about this movie. The Empire Strikes Back today still stands the test of time. I watched it again on the big screen in Seattle, Washington when visiting friends, and it is still just an amazing wonder to watch. I don't mind that they opened up the walls and made it look more open and gave windows and stuff. I'm glad that they did that. I don't like that in the Blu-ray he changed the evil emperor and his conversation with Darth Vader. That could have just been left alone. Really is trivial to me since this is space opera stuff anyway that's mainly made for kids like me that never grew up. This is not really for adults. This is space opera stuff. This is Flash Gordon. This is the Zorro and Tarzan, those old Saturday matinee serials, and sword fighting and airplanes fighting each other, and this time in space. And so people that are getting all uptight about all this, they just kind of need to get a life, because this is just science fiction, fantasy fun. And that's what I take it is. I still enjoy it. I watch it. I think it's family friendly. I think it's funny. I think it's witty. And I think that George Lucas did a good thing with selling the Star Wars enterprise to Disney, because it's obvious that he is a great visionary. He's a great dreamer, but he isn't good at bringing it to fruition. This director basically showed that when George Lucas has input into it, but allows somebody that's a better director to direct, the movie comes out to be a much better product. So kudos to you, George Lucas, for selling it to Disney. Now maybe they'll really hire a good director and we'll have a good Star Wars episode 7. I can't talk today, I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, I give Empire Strikes Back a 10 out of 10. And it deserves it, because it is space-tacular.